We featured the Fireboard Spark as a dual winner in our Best Instant Read Thermometer Shootout, but it's time for a deeper dive into the Spark, and we've got it coming up. I get at least one email every week telling me about a new instant read thermometer that someone is launching, and that's great for us, the end user. 95% of the emails that I get are for thermometers under $20 or $30, which definitely have their place. But today we're looking at the Fireboard Spark, which is the opposite end of the spectrum. This is the high-tech, high-functionality instant read, so let's see why tech defines this thermometer. Now, upon first glance, you can tell that the Spark is different. The readout screen is huge compared to the rest of the contenders. Now, there's stylistic differences as well, but it's how well the whole thing comes together aesthetically that really does it for me. The powder-coated steel, the button cover, the curves in the red metal all speak to how well it's designed and how much thought went into it, and it resembles a high-end sports car. Now, when I was a kid, I was really into cars, and I had red Ferrari and Lamborghini posters on my wall. I feel like the Spark is the instant read equivalent of the cars on those posters. It's sleek, fast, and it's ready to race. Now, the speed is impressive, and it's a very short list of thermometers that can even come close to these numbers. Now, what's even more impressive is that the Spark is more than just an instant read thermometer. Now, when you open the end of the Spark, you'll see a charging port and a probe port. The probe port allows you to take any Fireboard probe and attach it to the Fireboard Spark, allowing it to be used as a leave-in meat thermometer. Now, there aren't many instant read thermometers on the market that have this functionality, so this is a standout feature. Now, I find that I'll use the Spark on weeknight meals out at the grill when I'm just cooking for our family of 4. It's both my instant read and my leave-in thermometer in a single unit. Now, when it comes to must-have functionality in an instant read thermometer, I always start with speed and accuracy. We've timed 3 tasks on the Spark, and each is impressively quick. First, we timed how long it would take to read 32 degrees in a cup of ice water. We filled the cup with ice, then added water and stopped before any of the ice floated, which gives us a bath of water that will measure 32 degrees Fahrenheit. We dropped the probe in, and it read within half a degree in exactly 1 second. Now, next up, we wanted to read the temperature of a medium rare steak, so we set our sous vide to 130 degrees, and when we dropped the probe in, it read within 0.7 degrees in 1.1 seconds. Now, lastly, I wanted to get a time on how long it took to read boiling water. We measured our barometric pressure and checked our elevation, and with that data, we know that boiling for us is 211 degrees Fahrenheit today. We dropped the probe in a pot of boiling water, and it read within 1 degree in 1.1 seconds. Now, that's 3 tests showing that it's not only lightning fast, but also accurate to the standards stated by the manufacturer. Now, with accuracy and speed out of the way, the next is really usability. Now, I like that the screen on the Spark rotates around 360 degrees, meaning no matter how you hold it, you'll be able to read the measurement. Now, the probe rotates 180 degrees, so that's a bit of a limiting factor for left-handed individuals. If it rotated a complete 270 degrees, I think lefties would find it more useful. There's sleep and wake functionality, which means that it will let the unit sleep if you put it down and don't move it, as well as it will wake up when you pick it back up. It's a battery saver for our family, as we're notorious for leaving thermometers open and running for long periods of time. Now, Fahrenheit to Celsius is an easy change using the settings menu controlled by the push button on the left side of the Spark. Just hold the button down to get the settings menu, and the menu is controlled by short and long button pushes. Here's how quick I can change the temperature modes in real time. Now, there's a host of other settings in here as well, like brightness, contrast, and screen rotation. And while we're talking about brightness, this unit has a very bright screen. I don't have any issues seeing my temperatures during those overnight cooks. Before we move on, I want to point out the sync mode setting. This is a setting that allows the Spark to be used as a remote monitoring device for the Fireboard 2 thermometer. You can turn sync mode on and then place the Spark on your desk at work to monitor your temperatures. Now we'll also place it on the fridge when we're cooking so we can see where our protein temperatures are while we're indoors making sides. It's handy that the Spark is magnetic because it clamps to the refrigerator very easily, and it is a strong magnet. Once it's put in place, it's simply not going anywhere. Now when I'm outdoors, I'll stick it to the side of my grill, and I know I don't have to worry about it getting wet since it has an IP66 waterproof rating. Now I wouldn't go around dunking it in buckets of water for long periods of time, but if it gets a little rain on it, I'm not running out to rescue it. The Spark is the only instant read thermometer that I know of that has an internal rechargeable battery. Just pop open the end of the Spark and there's a USB connection that you can plug in to charge the device. I've found that the battery life is actually quite good. Last summer I only needed to charge it 2 or 3 times and I wasn't just using it as an instant read. That's some good battery life for such a small unit. Now I also haven't run into an instant read thermometer that has haptic feedback before I use the Spark. Now when you're measuring temperatures, the Spark will vibrate once it's read the temperature, even locking in the temperature on the unit if you prefer. Now I'm so used to my phone buzzing that haptic feedback seems commonplace these days, but it's very rare in a thermometer. Now I also want to mention that Fireboard has an app that you can download to work with your Spark or Fireboard 2. I'll use the app to monitor my temperatures when I'm using the Spark as a leave-in thermometer out on the smoker. Now the app will also track your progress in graphical form and allow you to save your cooks to reference later. Now there's more to cover here, but just know that there's a great app bringing more functionality and even cloud backup to the party. Now there aren't many drawbacks with the Spark, but there are a couple of changes that I'd love to see in the next version. First, the Spark only comes with a 1-year warranty. While it's not a deal breaker, it doesn't give me the same peace of mind that I would have if it was covered longer. Warranties in the instant read arena range from 1 year to 5 years, so the Spark is on the short end here. Now I love the leave-in functionality of the Spark, but a probe doesn't come in the package, meaning that you'd need to purchase one separately. Now I'd like to see one in the package, but I understand that not having one included means that you get to choose the kind of probe you want to get with it. Now I personally love the competition probes that Fireboard offers. Now they're the thinnest probes that I've worked with, and they leave almost no trace that they were ever there in my finished meats. The last thing that I'd love to mention is that I find the screen easier to read when you drop the decimal on the readout. There's less changing of the temperature reading, and the screen is just easier to read when you go without the decimal slot. Now I've worked both ways for many months now, and we leave the decimal out unless we have a very specific reason to do so. So, who is the Fireboard Spark the best fit for? If you already have a Fireboard 2 thermometer, the Spark is a no-brainer for you. It's designed to be the perfect partner for the Fireboard, acting as a remote monitoring device, additional leave-in probe, and instant read to verify temperatures and more. Now, if you're not already in the Fireboard infrastructure, it's the techiest instant read I've ever worked with. While most instant reads just swivel open and take temperature, the Spark is packed full of options to make it so much more. It's lightning fast, it's accurate, it's basically all you want your instant read thermometer to be. Now, if you're interested in checking out the price of the Spark, we put a link below that'll support the channel if you decide to make a purchase. Our little family of barbecue nerds say thank you for your support. I'm David Gafford from the Barbecue Lab, and if outdoor cooking is your thing, please consider subscribing to the channel. We put out new videos reviewing our favorite outdoor cooking gear every week, and we'd love to have you join us. Now, if you'd like to watch our head-to-head instant read thermometer showdown, I'll put a link right here where you can see the top instant reads put to the test. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.